Hello, it's BrickBot, and with every Brave season, there's always that other character that's the mysterious, shadowy, somewhat anti-hero, at first antagonist character. And we have that with Hyde. It's that time when Toy Rock sends me the newest 헬로카봇 product in the middle of the month. Thank you very much again. And this is like Carbot Axe's companion. Hyde the Magician. Just plain old Hyde, and not the Y type of Jekyll and Hyde. Just Hyde, because he hides with that fabric cape. It includes a fabric cape, not just a plastic cape. And it's a convertible sports car. The 189th Carbot. Of course, here's the Brave series, but not part of the main Brave Carbot. He doesn't have the numbering here. Yeah, so I guess the Brave numbering is just for the Carbot Axe components. It's a thinner box, but with the nice robot details here. Twin knives. Portrait view here. As for the back, we have all the typical stuff, like the same type of sketchy background and like in the glowing. Yeah, the same callouts of the cube and the fabric cape. In the same month as Carbot X. Now to make this box disappear, yeah, there's a silver back insert, creased instructions, and a clamshell covered packaging. Okay, the cape was just nestled right in here. Cape.
나는 신비한 마법사 카봇 하이드. 카봇 X, 캐논 X와 함께 이체와 후 브레이브 킹덤을 세운 1등 공신이다. 나는 마법사답게 자연의 힘을 사용하고 순간 이동도 하고 마음대로 투명해지는 능력도 갖고 있어. 또한 미래를 보는 능력으로 위험을 알려주기도 해. 하지만 정작 내 미래는 알지 못해서 블랙 위저드에게 공격당해 기억을 잃어버린 채 어둠의 마법사가 되어버렸지. 그렇지만 친구들의 도움으로 다시 기억을 되찾고 정의의 마법사로 돌아왔지. 나는 카봇 X에게 충성을 다하는 마법사, 자연의 힘을 다루는 마법사 카봇 하이드다. 이건 마술이 아니라 마법이다. 그리고 마법은 과학이다. 미사일아 멈춰라! 하이드 포스! 이 미사일은 주인에게 돌려준다. 전! 적의 공격을 막는다. 마법진 소환, 바람과 불, 번개가 휘몰아친다. 엘리멘탈 스톰! 나는 어둠의 마법사 망토 X다. 뭐라고? 내가 기억을 잃고 라인 일당의 부하가 됐다고? 말도 안 돼. 하지만 기억은 잃어도 심장이 기억한다.
If we're still going by vague Mercedes-Benz modeling, then this is probably a Mercedes-Benz C Cabriolet. I guess the previous generation with this specific upturned grille. I don't think it has those vents though. But it is a very nice realistic car detailing, like the bottom vents here, more side exhausts here, painted rear view mirrors, handlebars all the way to the edge, really big doors, 6-spoke wheels, clear red taillight all the way around. Those exhausts are not painted. Yeah, but this is a very nice sports car in a very uncommon, like a tealish blue. I thought this would be like teal, bright teal, according to the digital renders. Yeah, look, it looks much more greener and tealer. And on camera, it looks more like a blue, navy blue, but in person, it is kind of a dark, tealish blue. It's more greenish. So this is a realistic custom uncommon car color, which is really nice to see here, just on this type of toy for once. Now let's convert this thing into a convertible. So unlatched from the front here, this entire roof, it is all like soft plastic. Just clips right into that clear blue windscreen with the black trim. This is gonna be a bit tricky. Just unhinge the trunk here and then just figure out how to unlatch that clip, because soft plastic, if you pull it out this way, I really am afraid, you know, some reckless hands will just rip that off, especially with age. So I think you have to lever it from the other end. And there's also this hood in the way. I think you have to slightly unlatch that. It's honestly much easier to do it in the robot mode than directly in the car mode, but I'm gonna figure out how to do it directly in this mode. Okay, I guess maybe just get on the hard, just get your finger into the hard edge. No, that's a little bit pointy. Yeah, just have to grab the hard plastic edge, not the soft edge, to unclip those. And then just pull that off yet. And raise the little seats. Open convertible mode. Yeah, of course you don't have a convertible mode that can like roll up this entire section, but the fact that you can do this is pretty nice play feature for cars, for Carbots, when usually just rolling would be a good play feature on its own. Now to figure out how to put these back in, because you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't have to force it out a bit. We finally have a convertible that's actually convertible, and convertible should not refer to being convertible from a car to a robot. With just suggested seats that would not be really scale accurate. Anyway, the fact that it has seats is just a little fun play feature. It just shows that it is a bit of a car more than just a robot in disguise. Now, to convert it back into a closed convertible, you gotta really make sure to get that hood all the way in there to make sure that doesn't hit the bars in there. And you have to really close in those seats. It's a soft click. You should be able to convert it into a robot now. Classic double hinged feet. Very nice ratcheties. You hinge out those shoulders. And then hinge out those double shoulders. Weapon storage is on either arm, so you just relocate that to the wrists. Then pull out this. Then pull out the hood and the actual robot head. Oh yeah, just make sure to tuck that in there. I suppose it actually taps into where the rear license plate would be. It doesn't tab it, it just nestles in there. Oh yeah, double hinge on the windscreen, so you just fold those down for the legs. Then flip out the little cape here. Now he is not hiding. And the doors fold back on double hinges to reveal the wrists at quite an angle. And finally, Artie's concept characterization is now his own Carbot. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for a general to be a dark magician. Okay, I guess those daggers evoke more of a stealthy rogue assassin rather than a magician or a wizard, as this might suggest, this central chest. But I guess you can play into both. So now that the red and dark violet pop in that are revealed, to blend in with the bluish green. That's a really nice subdued color combination. Yeah, that's what I mean, like the signature purple on being usually on the anti-hero type robots. I'm not sure how I feel about the cloak is being actually integrated into the robot design, like with the chest and the shoulders, which are also soft plastic. Because it just kind of feels like more like random drapes put on the robot bits rather than a whole cloth all around him. I mean, not that it couldn't be decorated. That services as a cape well enough. I guess that's his own unique symbols, or just a pattern. Yeah, just a whole hooded hood with a little antenna. Yeah, so if you remove this, you can see his plain old robot face. That triangular type of visor. I guess without his hood, he looks much more like some sort of paladin or knight rather than a magician wizard. Really interesting how this could totally change the feel, like unhooded and hooded. Although I guess I wish I could hide away the hood and keep the cape in robot mode instead of just having to put it all off on the side. And also risk losing the rubber, ripping the rubber. Oh yeah, so in robot mode, I guess it's safer just to grab onto here and then pull it off from this side. Don't pull off his head at the same time. A great big blue visor, a lavender face, big red forehead gem, but no light piping. I guess that's visor's big enough. And I don't think it'll be used much anyway with a hood on. Hey, this pin wasn't punched in all the way right out of the box. It's scratching up this side when I tilt it off. So, if you really care about this tiny internal part, just make sure your pin is pinned in all the way. His accessories are these twin blades in a nice clear red and a silver on one side, just one side, because they had to be hollow. He can single wield them or double wield them. In his hands with an oddly pronounced middle finger. His cape is supposed to clip on to his butt here, just to secure it a bit. But I think that leaves a bit of a inverse dimple here, and also that kind of restricts the articulation as that just clipped in, so I prefer to just leave it hang as it is here. In addition to his integrated cape, he has a fabric cape. Yeah, just a whole piece of fabric with bendy wire, so this is posable. Feeling it, I think this is a wire encased in plastic inside here, so it's not a bare metal wire cape, so it should be safe for the kids. But yeah, you don't see any obvious connection points to this thing, so. And the instructions admit so they just suggest to put it wherever, like between the shoulders, they officially suggest. I guess just right between here, and just by sheer luck, sheer will, just kind of hinge them down a bit. And yeah, just by sandwiching it, can you get an additional cape. You can just splay it out like this. Yeah, that's gonna fall off, so I think you need to experiment a bit more to find the most secure connection. But if you can get it there, you can pose it off to the side so the cape is flowing in the wind. Or just, just have it straight up. So while he's falling. Or just like this for a dynamic action pose, like dashing straight ahead. Just the magic of bendy wire. So ideally, I would like to wrap it around this main cape. And then have it like secured between here as it clips in. But that's gonna be very tricky to do, and I don't think there really isn't any clearance space to sandwich that. Okay, so that kind of works on one side. Yeah, You know, I would just wrap this around the main cape, but then that would get in the way of the connecting clips. So, and I don't think there is any clearance between here and here anyways. So, yeah, this looks like the best obvious solution. Just, they could have had some holes in here. But no, somehow they decided between the movable shoulder kibble is the best way to secure it. Eh. Yeah, I think it's an oversight that they just want you to do whatever with it. I guess arm guard. Just put it right in front of him just for the mysterious cloaked figure look. No, I guess I was hoping for some magnets at least. Some magnets or just some little holes. Some sort of dedicated spot instead of just like a wraparound. Yeah, but at least he already has a cape. Because I guess in other figures, he would need this cape to get that complete cape look. But the fact he already has one in the hood is like, is welcome. Even though this one is not posable and this one is. So this is just an optional accessory that you can keep off to the side. I was hoping there would be enough space for the cloth to fold up and store inside the car. But that's not really possible. Like at all. It's just too thick. And there's just not enough space to cram it all in there. Yeah, you will have to leave this off to the side in vehicle mode. It's a new card cover. Or just give it to anyone with a neck long and small enough to wrap around. I would usually have to go out of my way to get like a special wire cape accessories, but the fact that this is included is a nice. Hyde gets a premium wire cape, and the best some other company could do is a paper cape that is very easily crinkleable and rippable and shreddable and losable. There are not many capes in this condition. What were they thinking? This is not a good cape. This is a good cape. Paragon wishes he had a good cape like this. Articulation. Head is on the ball socket, so a little bit of side-to-side wiggle and all the way around. Though with that static hood, it might be a bit hard to pose to get, you know, on a side look. At least it's flexible. Shoulders are double jointed. These are hinged. No friction, but ratchety shoulders. For the back, as far as the shoulder cable will allow, and all the way out. Elbows that kind of obtuse, and then almost 90. Wrist swivel. I guess that makes up for the lack of bicep swivels on these awfully short biceps. And without this cape. No, okay, that does unlock the waist swivel. Yeah, so you would question why would you ever want to clip this in. Just for secure display purposes, I guess. Otherwise, unimpeded all the way back. All the way forward. Splits. Almost 90 knees. Thigh swivels. Transformational foot forward with a nice ratchet. And a bit back too. And a little bit of an ankle tilt. Not necessarily as posable as Carbot X, but posable enough. And he has more knee articulation than him. And waists are always welcome. As with wrists. So of these two new Brave Carbots, I think I might like Hyde a bit more just for the style. His stealthy style, just really nice color, really attractive color of the dark bluish green, teal, and purple. And a very unique gimmick of plastic soft rubber cape and hood. I mean, it does give it some nice unique style, but I guess there is concerns that, you know, this rubber will age over time, but that's probably going to be a decade. But also that, you know, its intended target audience could easily just scratch this up and just be really worse for wear in secondary markets, so you gotta kind of keep this nice and clean. Sure, he may have slightly less posability than Carbot accent, a bit more kibble that kind of gets in the way, while Carbot Axe is clean all around mostly. I think if you were only going to go for one of these right now, I guess Hide would stand out a bit more than the brave quote-unquote knockoff. But together, they are a dynamic duo. The additional cape is a neat inclusion, but I really wish they could have just dedicated a good connection system to this, instead of just draping it over. And completely loose accessory, no storage, so this will be lost, or ripped up, or just be thrown into a different toy bin like the doll's bin. Unless you keep it in the box. Remember when some of us thought this new Carbot toy was going to be a villain just because of his very black and red colors? Well, this is the first ever villain Carbot in canon. But just because of amnesia, and just for a couple of episodes until Carbot Axe knocks some sense into him and he goes back to being his friend again. At least it's something that they went that far for an antagonistic Carbot, with the spooky, dark purplish color scheme and design to boot. If you really want Hide and or Axe, they're available to order now from online shops, including internationally, but it's taking a while for them to actually reach local retailer shelves. But one of the first places for offline purchase will be the Korea Character Licensing Fair 2025. Hope you're enjoying these early sponsored reviews. But as for the new releases of retooled original legacy characters as the secondary characters of the season, I may have to buy these on my own. Because they're technically not new product, they're new old product, but not new product. Same old character collecting, yay.